Record to the cloud. All right, welcome to week 3. We have more people getting on, which is awesome. And I am so glad that you guys are here. We are like, this is like the very middle session of the whole program. And it's interesting because we've done a lot of work. I'll do a quick recap here. We've done a lot of work over the last 2 weeks, really understanding how our mindset influences our results and how our mindset really determines how much success or abundance that we really bring into our own life. And tonight we're going to kind of add on to that, but we're going to add the part that really makes the results happen. So in week 1, we looked at the old money stories, those programs that we grew up with, the programs that we've put in place that we're essentially living by. We also talked about our energetic minimums and had for a lot of us this realization that we're really good at living to our energetic minimums. And as we raise those levels, we actually can raise what our minimum level of abundance is. We also talked in the first session, we started to get the creative juices flowing, where we were looking at what does our business that's 1,000 times better than it currently is look like. So starting to look beyond the, well, oftentimes we will choose targets and goals that we feel we can figure out how to get to. But it's really in the targets and the goals that we have no idea how we're going to get to it, because the goals that we don't know how we're going to achieve, we have to grow in order to achieve them. And it's in our own personal growth and development that we become capable of achieving more. In week 2, we started to look at what our energetic maximums would be, what we felt our upper limits were. And we looked at, what paradigms were, and how paradigms essentially are those old programs that sabotage our results. So did anybody have any paradigms that you've kind of had awareness around in the past week that you didn't realize existed before week 2? Anybody experience those? Feel free to type it in or unmute. We're just a smaller group tonight. This is what happens, the committed show. And I shouldn't say that because I have some people who legitimately can't attend tonight. But who's got, anybody have a paradigm that showed up?
I would share something that showed up for me this week. And it's just kind of, it was that, and I talked to you about this earlier, about success, like hosting that mega party this week. And, going into the mega party, success looked like a whole bunch of orders. At the end of the mega party, it wasn't like, I guess the strong realization to me wasn't just around the orders, but the success of the people that we got in front of. So it was just, I guess I noticed that I can be a bit cut and dry. So I'm just trying to look at maybe softening some of those edges a little bit.
I like that. So what you experienced was you had one expectation, but you actually really through perspective saw the blessing, because you could have been super disappointed in it not necessarily meeting certain expectations, but the reality is a lot of really great things happen there. That's a really good realization, Tara. That's huge. I think a lot of us don't give ourselves enough credit that way. We did the work, right? So good. So we have one here and I didn't bring, let me see if I can go up here. Okay, so Melissa realized that I believe you need to spend money to make money and that I can't afford to be successful. Oh, I also realized that I believe I'm so dumb for not knowing about money already in being in her 30s. And that is like right there. Think about that self-talk and think about how, the thing with paradigms is we often, 1, don't know we have them, and 2, constantly reinforce them. So if it's like, I can't afford to be successful, I don't have enough money to invest to make money, I should know about money by now, you're just reinforcing what you don't want. The goal with paradigms, and we do a lot of this work in the Thinking into Results program that we do with the QSSCs and above in that pod. So as you get promoted into QSSC and SSC, we do TIR. And one of the things I say about paradigms is don't get stuck on them, because if you get stuck on them, you just continually reinforce them as true in your brain. The work around paradigms is, one, realize it's happening, and two, replace it quickly. The problem for most is we don't replace it quickly. We hang on to it, right? So Jody shared, hang on, I'm just going to go down here. Jody shared, it's the energetic minimum for me. It's hard to see 1,000 times better. I am aware, although I'm working on it, loving the process. Feel like as the wife, quote unquote, this is not just a hobby biz. I need to see it as bigger. I love that. Absolutely. And it's good. Anytime you guys are thinking about goals or trying to visualize, we're going to do a visualization session today. So we're going to close up with about 5 minutes, 10 minutes of visualization. So if you can get earbuds in, that'll probably help, or just make sure you're in a quiet place. If you need to turn your camera off and move, go ahead. But if your brain has a hard time setting big goals or seeing that level of success, it's only because you haven't created those neural pathways. Your brain literally hasn't been taught to fire that way. But once you start doing it, you keep doing it, all of a sudden it goes from feeling hard, feeling totally unrealistic, sometimes feeling a little bit like BS, to feeling like possibility, to feeling like, oh, there's things that are aligning that are showing up, and then to it's absolutely going to happen. And we talked about this in session 2, where we were talking about, you might never have noticed the car that you drive until you bought it. And then the moment you bought it, you see the same make, the same model everywhere, because your brain has been designed to look for it. If you or your team is focused on their paradigm or their sabotaging or why they can't be successful, then their brain is going to constantly look for fact to make that true, like look for things to back that up. If you start to train your brain to go, I can hit any goal, I can hit any target, I'm working on this, I'm going to get it done. Lots of customers are coming, lots of new team are coming, I'm attracting incredible people to my business. If that is the conversation that you're reinforcing with your brain, guess what happens? Your brain starts to look for those things. And when you start to look for those things, because you've programmed your brain to look for those things, you start to have those conversations, you start to attract those people, you start to get those results. Your business right now is a reflection of your old programming. Your business tomorrow is a reflection of your new programming, right? So Mary Ann is saying, unsure of myself sometimes, wondering why I'm not further ahead. Next day it's better. And that happens, like, and yeah, like, honestly, ladies, it is a back and forth. It is a teeter-totter. It is like old program wins, new program wins, old program wins, new program wins. The goal, and you'll get better at it, is now that you have this awareness, you'll see the old program for what it is and you'll quickly replace it. And I remember listening to a speaker in Accelerator, and he said, what used to get me down or get me out of the game, like, there might have been a point in your business where somebody could have said, oh my gosh, that's awful, why would you do that? And you would have quit, right? Like, we have those moments, but as you grew in your belief, that hurts you less, right? And he said something that would get me down, make me quit, would get me down for a month. And then as I kept growing and training my brain, it would get me down for a week, then it would get me down for a day, then it would get me down for an hour, now it gets me down for a minute, right? So it's always, you're always going to go through this, but you will recognize it faster, you'll turn it faster, and you won't hang out with it as long. And that's the goal, right? Yes. It's very normal. It's normal. It's human. All right. So we talked about energetic maximums. We just did a kind of cap of paradigms. We talked about reprogramming, how there's 2 parts of reprogramming. One is the vision, the desire, the seeing something different. And the 2 is the affirmations and the journaling. If you really want to get out of results that you don't like, you have to do that work every day. It needs to be, whether it's 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon, or little bullets of time throughout the day. I have a morning mindfulness practice. I don't work until it's done. And I get up early on days that I have to, like even when I don't get out of bed, because I understand that this plays a big role in my ability to be successful and create more for my family and help more families, right? So we have to have those both in there. So thinking about that homework. And then we talked about, we're going to talk about this, Melissa, we are going to get you to share that. We also talked about 4 areas to continually be improving. So we're going to kind of take that and move into that this week. So the visualization, the mindset, the journaling, the affirmations, the recognizing the old programs and paradigms, all of that is the work that top earners do. And I've been learning since January, every single Monday. I am part of a millionaire coaching group, like with Accelerator with GoPro. So every single one of them, every single one of these millionaire top earners and all these companies have said, you have to get your mind right. And you got to back it with action. And last week, we talked about the 4 areas to be continually improving. I want to encourage you to continue doing that this week. New customers, how are you, brainstorm ideas every single day. How are you attracting new customers? Because you know what's going to happen is after a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're going to have 20 amazing ideas, and you're going to be able to take the top 1 or 3 of them and start to apply them. New team. Same thing, like what are you doing to attract new team? I talked about that in the training for corporate today. Retention builds a compounding business. If you don't have good retention, your business isn't compounding, you're replacing. So how are you focusing on retention? What is the practices that you're putting in place? And growth around personal growth and business growth, some ideas there. So those 4 areas, we're going to continue journaling on those this week and just getting the creative juices flowing on those, because they're probably the 4 most important areas of your business. And this week, we're actually going to start to marry together mindset and action. Okay, so that's what week 3 is about. So before I go into that, any comments? I know Melissa, so journaling has been huge for her. She's not sure she was able to manifest the $5,000 extra this month. You were able to because you let go of limiting beliefs, right? You embrace bigger ones. Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Anybody finding this hard, finding it easy, getting good results? You can unmute.
I'll share. Sorry, I was trying to
Go ahead,
unmute
Anita.
myself.
Yeah, please.
What I wanted to share was I've always tried to write things down, affirm things, manifest things, but I decided to change it so that my affirmations were more about I'm attracting people who are also looking for the products that I have. And in the last, I would say 2 weeks, I've had more people ask about the Tower Gardens than ever before. And the whole thing is, instead of stressing about it and thinking, okay, well, they're asking and then they're never going to do anything with it, I'm just saying thank you for them contacting me. And, and now moving forward with the flow. Right. And it feels so much easier than having that pressure of, okay, I have to do something with this now. I have to close the sale right now. It's just about, I talk to them, I give them the information, and then I just step back and I give them their space. And I'm finding that's bringing them back.
Absolutely.
So that's been a win for me.
And that's almost like a shift in confidence too, around that interaction. Yeah, absolutely. That is such a great example. I love that. And that's it, ladies. Like that is, sorry, I didn't mean to mute you. We are looking really for with the desired result. Sometimes I get leaders who are like, your team is so awesome. I'm like, I know, I attracted them. And that's like, you decide what you want your team to look like. If you don't know what type of person or people make up your business or what type of customers you're getting, like I love like people who are already interested in this. Do you know how many people are interested in health and wellness? I was in a health food store today, building a relationship with a health food store owner. And that door, there was 3 or 4 new customers coming in every 5 to 10 minutes. Like go to a health food store and just hang out, walk the aisles for 30 minutes and see how many people come in. Those are all people investing in their health, right? Like people growing their own food who want to save money, moms who want to stay home and raise their kids, individuals who are ready for career changes. Like these people are everywhere. But if you're not specific about what you want your business to look like, or what your team looks like, or what your customer base looks like, then it's going to feel very chaotic and very hard to hang on to and very hard to attract. So I love that that's such a great example. All right, so this week we're going to focus on the daily work of increased earnings. So this is really applying this knowledge. Now, we're going to look at the integration of what you want and the actions that are going to take you there. So we're going to take mindset and we're going to marry it up with action. And one of the mistakes I see kind of in the mindset field is that there's a lot of people who get really frustrated that they don't get results because they just hang out in mindset. I'll just think my way. I'll do nothing else. I'll just think, right? And mindset alone starts the flow of the new desired results, but it's not enough. Yeah, and an example, and I love this, I remember seeing it on social media a while ago, and it said, God feeds the birds, but he doesn't drop the worms in the nest. Right? So, you can have the faith and have the trust and know that it's going to happen. We're taught that, but you still got to marry it with action. And here's the other thing, because we also see kind of the other opposite, the all action without mindset. If you're all action without mindset, you're going to lead to spinning your wheels. You're going to feel incredibly frustrated, and you're more likely to get burnt out. Right? And sometimes we're all mindset, no action. And sometimes we're all action, no mindset. There's some people that will come into your business that are all action, no mindset. You're going to have to slow them down and get them to start to create a picture, set some targets, look at some paradigms. And then you're going to get people who come in and then they're just like, they got the right headspace, but they're not backing it with action. Right? So the both have to come together. So anybody relate to that? Has there ever been a time where you've been all mindset? It's like, I'm just gonna, Diana's like, why doesn't that work? Who else? Anybody else had a time where it's like, I'm just gonna read, I'm just gonna learn, I'm just gonna take a course, I'm gonna do everything to build this, but you're not actually doing enough of the action stuff. And trust me, I had to make some rules around taking courses because I would take courses all the time. I reward myself when I hit a rank. I'm allowed to take a course. All right. So Debbie said that's her. Attracted them. I need to start. Yeah, Jesus. I was done learning. I was thinking, yeah, exactly. And then who's ever been all action? Who's ever been a point where it's like, just Melissa's like all action, like, and then the mindset piece wasn't there. And then you end up frustrated, burnt out. This doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Right? If you can learn to do mindset work and back it with action really, really well every single day that you're working, doesn't have to be a large amount of time, but just do the two of them, making sure that both of those boxes are checked, you're going to get completely different results than you've ever had. Very different. So on your worksheet, it has the daily work of increased earnings, and it has the top is the mindset piece. And then the bottom is the actions piece. So visualization, we're going to close our session today. We're not going to have a long session, so we are going to close it. But visualization is really that mind movie, like sitting and actually closing your eyes and thinking, envisioning as a movie in your mind, just using your imagination to what your next result looks like or what the big destination is. Part of the reason why people use vision boards is because they're finding images that match their vision of what they want to create. And on my vision board was a big house with a big front wraparound deck. And that was on my vision board for a long time. And then I ended up buying a big house with a big front wraparound deck. I knew pulling in, I was like, that was on my vision board. Right. So, visualization is important. Journaling your goal from a completed state. If you constantly see your goals as you are on your way to them, you will always be on your way to them. So what's it going to feel like? How are you we're going to do this today. I'm going to take you through an exercise to help you actually experience that. But journaling things completed. How do you feel? I have these little cue cards. These are my little affirmation cards. I was talking to you guys about them last week. And every single one of them are goals written as if they were already done. And I have a stack in my desk somewhere. I still haven't gone looking for them to properly find them. A stack of all the ones that at one point were written as they were true, but weren't yet true, that I get to take out of the stack and put in there because they're now completed. And you can do this because if I program my brain, to think these things, then my brain is going to start to look for evidence and proof to back it up. Okay. Staying committed to your new chosen results. So writing it out once, not going to work. Not reading it, not going to work. It is a daily thing, and it's a discipline that most people won't do. So find some way to create some discipline around it, whether it's routine, certain times of the day. I have to do it before my day starts, because once my day starts, I'm just constantly in a lot of different directions and I need that. But maybe yours is going to be an evening routine. Maybe it's going to be 30 minutes before bed, or it's going to be over your lunch hour, but thinking about that. For actions, again, do you have time in your schedule for business building activities? And just doing a social media post is awesome, but it's not enough. You need more, more conversations and more stuff. And let me just show you and I say social media post is not enough because I am guilty of getting busy working kind of in my business, building presentations, both scheduling events, doing all that kind of stuff. And then I'll do a social media post and I'm like, how come I'm not getting any traction? It's like, because I think that that's enough. So let me just go here. And so this is actually the income producing activities chart. This is going to post shortly in the team page, in the money mindset. This is also in the team page. It'll post under files. So when you are backing your mindset with action, you want to be doing what we call income producing activities. And there's some trainings on these. We can help you find them if you want to kind of have some advice to go through them. But prospecting is, adding 5 names to your list, having 5 conversations. They don't even have to be about the products or the business, but are you getting some level of conversation and engagement happening? And kind of a standard for top earners in the industry is around 5 a day. Like, are you having 5 conversations with people? Social media, email, phone. I've had a face-to-face prospect meeting every day last week, and I have one booked every day this week, and I'm trying to book a face-to-face every day next week because I wasn't doing them. I was leaving my house. I was like, okay, getting these booked. I've gone for lunches. I've gone for dinners. I've met at coffee shops. I've gone into people's businesses. I went to a vegan restaurant, a new vegan restaurant that I hadn't met the owners, had a conversation. We're going to have another meeting, went into a health food store. So that is prospecting. And I didn't pitch any of them. I just went and met them, told them a little bit about what I do, how I'm looking to align with other like-minded people. I'd be open to collaboration. And, now I'm building on that relationship. So are you doing 5 of these a day? Are you connecting, adding value to customers? Remember, customer retention builds a compounding business. If you have team, are you like, hey, are you getting on Tuesday night? Or this is what I learned in money mindset. Are you nurturing and taking good care of your team? That's income producing activities. Your social media post is an income producing activity. Promoting upcoming events. We have a huge talk happening tomorrow night. And I know this, part of why we haven't done an anti-fish oil talk is because it's going to challenge a lot of people's beliefs. And there's some really legitimate reasons that we should not be consuming fish oil. And I'm going to share that evidence tomorrow night. And there's a lot of that is a great event to get people on, to get some perspective, to learn more, to gain an understanding. Are you promoting the events that are happening? Are you inviting people to our community and finding out what their goals are so you can tag them in posts that are going to help them? You could host, like Tara did an incredible she collaborated with a bunch of leaders. She really spearheaded the entire thing. And they hosted a Facebook event with over 200 people. But a successful Facebook event could have 4 people if they're engaged and excited. personal development, growing, if you struggle with sales, are you reading books or listening to podcasts or videos on how to do better sales? If you're struggling with leadership, are you diving into becoming, content that's going to help you show up as a better leader? Are you booking regular coaching sessions with Upline? Are you attending the pods, which, by the way, this Wednesday pod now welcomes QSCs? And are you actively growing your prospect list? And this sheet's awesome because you can go through and check off what items you're actually doing every single day. And what you'll actually see by the end of the week is where you're avoiding. And I just want to encourage you, if there's spots on this sheet that you are like every day or most days avoiding doing, then spend a week building some new paradigms and mindset and affirmations around that. So for example, maybe you're not inviting to the Tuesday nights, you're underutilizing. Christina Denomi built a national marketing director business using Tuesday nights. And you're thinking, I am not doing that, right? Then your affirmation could be, I am actively using events to grow my business. I am so excited for the number of people that I have on Tuesday nights. We have amazing content every week, and all you got to do is get people to attend, and we do the work for you. And then all you have to do is follow up. How can you have 10 people a week between your team, your customers, and prospects on a Tuesday night call? So pay attention to those areas that you're avoiding. There might be a paradigm. There might be something you're telling yourself. You're not going to do all of these equally the same. There's going to be things that you enjoy doing more than others. But if you're in avoidance, if there's any sort of sabotaging happening around all of these things, if you're only doing one thing on the list, then really pay attention to what is the thoughts and the feelings that are hanging out around here, because they're probably preventing you from being as successful as you could be. So if you have any comments or questions, let me just go down here. Awesome. Okay, perfect. I'm not missing any. So any other feedback before we move on? All right. And then thinking about, I didn't see any hand. Okay. Thinking about expecting positive outcomes. One of the things I learned with speaking is if I wasn't telling myself good things while I was public speaking, then I didn't get the same responses as I wanted. So I learned, believe it or not, and I share this with you because I think it'll help you with your actions. I learned as I'm talking to tell myself that everyone is loving this. Believe it or not, I swear. And even when it was like awkward or it was crickets, I remember doing lectures where like I felt like the audience wasn't my audience. And instead of digging into their vibe, I would just tell myself, they're loving it. They're digging this. There's something valuable they're getting out of this. This is what's rolling through my mind. And because of that, that was ultimately always been my experience. Has there been people who've not enjoyed what I taught? Absolutely. That's okay. But I don't pay attention. My brain doesn't look for those people. I want you to think about that when you're doing your activities and your income producing activities. Are you thinking to yourself, this is too expensive, nobody's interested, I don't have anyone to talk to, nobody wants to buy? Or are you thinking, this makes sense for them? Why wouldn't they do this? And I'm going to tell you, my mindset, if I can get you on a phone call, my mindset, and I don't aim to be manipulative or to pressure anybody to buy, but I tell myself that this is absolutely going to be a great decision for you. And then I think you can feel that in our conversation. So think about what you're telling yourself, or set an intention around your work, especially if it's work you're avoiding doing. If you're not following up, if you're not posting, if you're not reaching out to prospects, change the story and then do it. And you'll see, like Anita, you'll see a completely different result. That's a really great example. All right, any questions, comments before we go into the visualization? You guys are making my job easy tonight. Okay, so what we're going to do is everyone is going to, so first off, you're going to want to be somewhere quiet so that you can listen. Pop in earbuds if you have them. Give you a second to do that. If you need to move, that's fine. We're going to get everyone to turn their cameras off. Please come back on camera when we're done, and everyone's muted, so we're good here. And we're gonna just take a couple deep breaths. I'm gonna get some music happening. I'm gonna turn my camera off. I'm gonna go here and just get yourself comfy. Grab a sip of water if you want, put your notepad down. And I don't know how the images are going to come across on the screen because when I was trying it, it wasn't looking awesome, but I think it sounds just fine. All right, let's do this. All right. All right, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to feel really rooted in spot. Your body's getting heavy and you're feeling super relaxed. You're in the perfect place at the perfect time. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it out through your mouth or your nose. Another deep breath in. And out. One more deep breath in. And out. I want you to imagine that you have achieved your biggest business goal. It's done. You did it. It's been announced. We're so excited for your accomplishment. You are now earning your desired amount every single month. You worked hard. You believed in yourself. And you did it. I want you to feel the gratitude of this accomplishment. You feel proud. You're happy. It's making a difference in your life. Breathe in through your nose. And out. You feel so proud of your accomplishment. Your friends, your family, your team, even strangers are all congratulating you. You are so amazed that you did it. I want you to picture how incredible your team is. I want you to picture all of the families you are now helping. You are making a difference. Take a deep breath in and out. This is the vibration of your goal achieved. If you can see it and feel it, you can make it a reality. Everything you need is already in place to reach your goal. You only need to match your vision with your actions. You deserve abundance. You can do great things with your abundance. People will be helped at a much greater level because you chose to set this goal and you did what it takes to reach it. You are expanding the positive impact you are having on our world. You are doing good work and you are loved for it. You now know you can hit any goal. You can have big impact. You are important and you are valuable. Take a deep breath in. Fill up your lungs. And let it out. One last breath in. And out. When you are ready, you may open your eyes. And turn your camera back on. And we'll wrap up this session. All right. How did that feel? Everybody sleepy now? Tara's like, thumbs up.
That was good.
Good, good. That's where you want to go. So when you are going through your visualization, I'm so glad you liked it. When you are going through, like I put in earbuds, sometimes I will put those earbuds in with that type of music. And then I will read through my journal, my goals already accomplished. And then I close my eyes and I run through it in my mind. And the more you do that, the more your mind starts to look for ways to make it true. You really honestly are moving yourself towards your goals. That's awesome. So glad you liked it. It's powerful. It's so powerful. And you can build your own scripts. You can record yourself talking about your goals and play it to music. You can go on YouTube and then use the voice recorder, put the sound on and then voice record it. Most people don't take the time to see their results, right? We only see what we believe is possible. But the moment you start to see it, you'll start to move towards it. So any questions, comments, anything before we wrap up today's session? You guys are easy. I'm going to take this. I'm going to tell myself that you have no questions because I did a good job.
That's exactly.
Right?
That's exactly.
That's right. It's our interpretation. I can be like, they got no questions because they're not liking this, right? That's not, we get to choose it. So I'm going to leave you guys with the homework of really digging into those 4 areas. So brainstorming, new customers, new team, retention and growth, both personal and business, journaling on those areas, finding time for that mindset practice, that positive affirmation, that visualizing your results done. And also carving out time to do the actions, to focus on the income producing activities. And if you struggle with those, print off and use the chart for the next week. And then, if you need any help, have any questions, if you're struggling at all, let us know. But that chart will help keep you on track for the week. All right, friends. All right, enjoy your evening, the rest of whatever's left of it. And we will see you we'll see you tomorrow night. The no fish oil talk. I'm excited. Y'all better come and All right, ladies, have a good night.
Thank you. Night.